Fourthly, we need to keep pioneering. Keep on pioneering. It probably seems incredibly difficult right now in lockdown, shutdown, and unavailable and not able to travel and do the stuff. But I want to tell you, friends, we can't lose our way in this season. We can't hold out. There's this pioneering attitude and pioneering heart that we need to contend for. Because I think if COVID's done anything, what it has done is limited and bring in limitations and caused us to go small, think small, and just think about our thing rather than think about what God's doing. And we all quote this Psalms 84, verse 5 and 7. Blessed are those whose strength is in you, whose hearts are set on pilgrimage. As they pass through the valley of Baca, a place of tears and giants, they make it a place of springs. The autumn rains also cover it. They go from strength to strength. Why do they go from strength to strength? Because their hearts have been set on pilgrimage. They're a pioneering people. And so it's a heart attitude that we're addressing today, that it's not just go and do stuff. It's also a heart in order to keep pioneering, keep at pilgrimage, keep going from place to place, keep going in your heart as they pass through. Even a season like this, keep your heart at bay where it's about pioneering, and God's called us to be a pioneering people. That's where we go from strength to strength, because we're pioneering. We're not keeping ground in this season, we're taking ground in this season. And someone said this, all you need to do to drift is do nothing. I've often said, because there's a lot of talk and everyone's talking and dialoguing and debating about all sorts of stuff and in the church. And I want to say this, when all is said and done, may more be done than said. Meaning we've got a job to do now, friends, not coming out of this and coming. Don't just talk. Let's go and do. Let's get on with it. There's an open and opportunities right now for us all over the world. Reinhard Bonnke says the gospel is always a green light. Go. There's always a green light, even in a season of lockdown, shutdown. Go, go, go. Motivate your people into the purposes of God. Let's be proactive in this, and let's keep pioneering. Advance, advance, advance. Not hold ground. Take ground in a season. Doors are open for us. The nations are open in a sense, and I know it's difficult to get in, but people's hearts are open like never before. 2 Corinthians 10, verse 15, Paul says, our hope is that as your faith continues to grow, our area of activity among you will greatly expand. Surely in a season like this, we can trust for great expansion. And then he goes on and says, so that we can preach the gospel in regions beyond you. Is that still in your heart? Not, will that be in your heart when we come out of this? Is it in your heart now? God is about advancing. And I just feel like people pleasing will always hurt us. And it's not something we go after, but it's something that's come to us, people pleasing more and more, certainly in a season like this, because we want to keep people, we want to keep them engaged, because we don't want to lose people, because a lot of people we've lost in a season like we've been through. So we begin to please people. I want to tell you, friends, it's a dangerous thing. We are called to pioneer, to take ground. God's bringing people to us who want to be involved in a bigger mission than the mission we're in, just of kind of filling our buildings, getting back to church, getting back to people. We've got to be wise. I know it's a real thing, but we've got to keep pioneering. People pleasing will hurt us. And how? Ultimately, when we people please, we lose the mission. When you try to please all kinds of people, you usually end up sacrificing the mission. And that is so evident and relevant right now in the church around the world. We also end up not liking who we become. In an attempt to please others, you sell out and become a fake. And many people, leaders, have become that because they're selling out on who they're supposed to be and what God's called them to do. Another thing that happens when we're pleasing people, it becomes harder to hear the voice of God. When you're listening to everyone and you're trying to please everyone, you end up closing your ear to the one who matters most, and that's God. And so I'm trying to be sensitive to your context right now, but I want to challenge you leaders. Hear God, and if you're hearing God, He is about taking ground in this season, effectiveness, pioneering, taking ground, and getting on with the mission He's called us to right now in the context that we're in. Real leaders also end up leaving. If you begin to people please, it's like I don't know how to say, but like a sixth sense to a real leader, a capacitated leader, and they can pick up that you're pleasing people, they end up leaving, and that's a tragedy. Don't lose people because you're pleasing other people. Let's trust God in this. And ultimately, when you're people pleasing, nobody's actually that happy. when you try to please everybody, you end up pleasing nobody. Why? Because people are just not that happy, and they're never going to be happy. So just, again, I know this is easier said than done, but we need to live this out and understand. And I think the great pivot being for the church in this season as we've moved from doing church to actually becoming and being the church, which is mobilizing the church to pioneer and to get out. And while I'm here, let me just say, gathering disgruntled Christians is not church planting, all right? We're talking about taking ground and advancing, not just gathering disgruntled guys who are not happy in one church to join your thing. Let's look to take ground in a season like this. Let me say this, and this thing that's just gone down in Afghanistan, and again, I hope you guys are aware what's happening over there, and you can blame my country, and that's fine, and you can blame America. I'm not getting into the politics of this. I think we could have done way better in how we left, but regardless, to say there is an open opportunity, a door. How many of us are even thinking about, as people are trying to get out, as they're trying to get Americans out, who of us are thinking, what an opportunity to capitalize on the season where people need to hear about Jesus? Are we even thinking about those things? Or are we so consumed with getting church back on board, getting people together, moving from 50 to 100 people? And those are real things, guys. I'm not downplaying. But the pioneering aspect, are we thinking beyond? Are we utilizing opportunities for the gospel, effective opportunities to keep on pioneering? Let's do better together in some of these things.